Hello lovelies and welcome to Saturday Night Stitches. Hila here, and today I have a super quick video sharing with you how I made these skirts using a pattern making book by Helen Joseph Armstrong, which is an excellent and outstanding pattern drafting book. So for the girls, I needed to make them some A-line skirts for French Day, for the French costumes. So I used the basic skirt block, and my plan was basically to collect all of their measurements and do all the calculations, as you can see there on the post-it note, and then just go straight away into drafting it onto the paper, rather than what I've done before, which was take the measurements as I was trying to do the drafting. And using the dots and cross paper, which is my favorite pattern drafting paper, I ended up with something like this. So it is important to note that in the book, the Helen Joseph Armstrong book, this is for the children's wear section. So she has a men's wear, a children's wear, and a women's wear section, but it's still similar principles. So I'm actually using the principles of cutting and slashing that are described in the women's wear section, but I actually got the measurements from the children's wear section. So basically, using the basic skirt sloper, I have two lines that I'm using according to the instructions in the book. And because my girls are nearly 10 years old, they do need a little bit of contouring that has to be taken out in the very small dots that are available. And so it was just basically a question of slashing and spreading. And just as an aside, I really do enjoy working with dots and cross paper. It is a very satisfying pattern drafting paper. I used to use baking parchment, but I do think that this is far superior. One of the things that I do struggle with is the hinging, you know, where you have to cut right up to the edge, but not quite go through it, so that you can add in the width at the hem. And for this particular skirt, I think I was adding in 6 inches at the hem, and then it's just sticking it over and then tidying up the bottom bit by drawing the curved hem. By this point, I already knew which fabric I was going to be using, so I knew that I wasn't drafting to put in a zipper or a button closure. I had a ponte, which was a stripy ponte, navy and white, and that would have suited the colors perfectly that were required for French Day costumes at school, and to go with the tricolore, the French navy, the white, and the red. So that's the ponte fabric that I'm using. I think I got this from Pounds Fabric ages ago. It's been in my stash for quite a while. It was very simple. 2 pattern pieces, front and back skirts, all cut on the fold, and I added in the seam allowance as I was cutting. And I make sure to notch the center front and the center back. That will be very important when attaching the elastic. So in order to save paper, sometimes I don't necessarily put paper underneath the entire slash, because dots and cross paper can be quite expensive. So very simply overlocking those side seams, and then also overlocking the hem before I go any further. I didn't manage to line up the stripes, but that's okay. This was a very quick make. The next thing is to add the elastic band, and I will be hemming using a very scant hem allowance, and because it's very wide at the bottom, I'll just be using a straight stitch. So I just measure out the elastic on their waistbands to get a comfortable fit, and I like to sew the elastic in the ring first, and then I attach it to the skirt using the quarters principle, and this is where your center front and your center back notching comes in handy. And side seams to the side seams, and then just simple overlocking. And I know I'm really lazy, I really ought to be using a dark color for the overlocking, but this was a very quick emergency make, so to speak. I made these the day before French Day was due. So the other thing would be to top stitch down the elastic, but I didn't do that. And once they were finished, this is what they looked like. And we made the little red ties for the neck and got some red berets, which were in the winter box, and it was a lovely French day. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a lovely day wherever you are, and until I see you next time, happy sewing. Bye.